Well, my mom married my stepdad, Bud Posey, when I was in junior high. And he was a golf pro, like a club pro. And he is the one that taught me how to play. Great teacher, great basic swing technique. And so I learned to play junior high and high school. Didn't drop it for a while. Of course, you have other things that you're doing. So picked it up again later on. The thing I like most about golf is that it's just you. I mean, it's you against in the elements, it's you outside, it's you, from when I was working, it was a great way to decompress. I could go out there, every golf course is beautiful. You're out there by yourself. It's a way to release tension, energy, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun, and I have a competitive side, but most of the time it doesn't come out when I'm playing golf. Well, I might have shot that today. I shot a 76 today. I was with some good friends and we had a good time. I was with Denise Armstrong, Diane Shapiro, and Carol Kelly. And we had a lot of fun, won a little bit of money, but a 76, that's the most recently best score I can remember. Well, I was fortunate enough when I turned 60 to go on a golf trip to Scotland. Denise set it up, and it was with a group sponsored by Rosie Jones. And Rosie Jones was a former lady professional in the era of Nancy Lopez and that little tiny thing, but just a pistol. And so we got to play all these courses in Scotland, and she was always our 12th player. So I got to play in a couple of foursomes, a couple of different times with her, and got to know her. She helped us, showed us the correct way to pack your golf clubs for shipping, sticking dirty clothes and wrapping your clubs around with dirty socks, things like that. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and just good to know people like that. Plus, when I was in college, this is kind of a longer story, but when I was in college, Title IX just came into back in the 70s, early 72, 73. So I went to New Mexico State University, and they wanted to have a girls' golf team. Well, I was the only one that had a set of clubs, and I was the only one that knew the rules of golf. And they had a faculty member at the time, her name was Geraldine Britz. And Geraldine was going to leave that summer and go try out, qualify for the women's tour. And so that year I got to play with Geraldine and work with her a little bit, and she ended up winning the U.S. Women's Open like 3 years later. So that was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, this community, first of all, the people in the community, when we first moved here, very accepting, very loving, very friendly, a wonderful group of people belong to this club. And people that are just the salt of the earth in lots of ways. And a lot of the people that we first knew when are here, are no longer here, the older members and things like that. But this is just a great community. And we're very fortunate to be able to drive in, and it's kind of like all of a sudden you just drive into a little oasis. So this is our place. And we love our house, and we love where we are. And this is probably going to be our last place until we have to move somewhere, for somebody else to take care of us. Okay, so this goes back when I was in college again. Again, I was the only member on our golf team for New Mexico State, and there was this tournament in California that I was going to get to go play in. But unfortunately, we only had enough money to send me by myself. And so I was staying with a team from University of Arizona and those girls. So that's the first time I'd been around them. So I was the first time I'd ever flown. There was a lot of firsts in that trip, and I was just like crazy. I mean, it was so exciting for me, and it was just like unbelievable. Well, we get to the golf course, and it's right on a freeway in California, in LA, and they didn't have a driving range. You just hit balls into a net. this huge net. It looked like you were going out over the freeway. And so I'm there trying to kind of warm up and act like I know what I'm doing, and all these big name schools are there, all the big people that are there from all across the country. And so I'm watching what they're doing and just trying not to look like I was totally lost. But I didn't know where they were getting the golf balls to hit, to practice. And I knew I needed to warm up. So I kind of looked around and I saw them walk up to this thing, and this was back in 1970s, and there was this thing, it looked kind of like a Coke machine. And they would walk up and I'd hear them say the name of their school, and then all these balls would come out in the basket and they'd go hit. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. How do they get that? So I kind of waited until everybody, was kind of away from it. And so then I kind of saunter up to the Coke machine, trying to act all cool and kind of lean against it, and then a voice comes out of it, which really surprised me, and said, "Yes, can I help you?" And it was like, well, yeah, I wanted to hit some practice balls, and here comes all the balls. Well, I hadn't put the bucket down yet. So all these golf balls come out of the machine and bounce down the cart path for probably 50 to 100 yards, and I'm leaning against the Coke machine, just totally mortified. And just turned around and walked away.
Enough warm up for one day.
I could warm up another day, yeah. I've never really thought about that question, and I am getting a little bit choked up. But obviously I would love to play again with Bud Posey, who taught me how to play. And he died many, 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 many years ago, and was not in my life from the time I was probably 25 on, but he has given me a lifelong joy. So obviously, I think I would love to play again with him. But then, I don't know, do you play for something like this? Do you play with a great golfer, or do you play with someone that you admire, that you would be interested in? A great golfer obviously would be like maybe Sam Snead, somebody who would be great to play with. And I just have never really thought about a hero I'd love to be, I don't know. I can't think of the fourth person.
Perfect.
Well, I think that women have a unique, I think women can pick up the game of golf a lot easier than they think they can. There's a lot of natural ability that women have. Women are more coordinated than you think. They're very limber. They can swing the club very easily. They don't try to force things, and it's like a brand new clean slate, and they can learn to play the game. The hardest thing, I think, for a lot of women is their level of expectations. And so you have to be kind of realistic about what your expectations are. Sure, you can hit a 100-yard shot with that club, the perfect shot every time. But chances are you're not going to be that perfect every time. So use a little extra club, swing a little bit easier, and give yourself a little bit of leeway. Give yourself a little bit of break. If we hit the perfect shot every time, we wouldn't be playing here on the weekends, So just have fun. And remember, the next shot's always a new beginning.